I just realized that I totally forgot to push the button. So there's a
Okay.
total chance that our awesome listeners did not just hear our intro music and
No,
just heard us sit in silence for 20
de-
seconds. And
definitely.
so that's a bummer. You know what? We're That's on me. Right hand up. We're new. It's been a while since we've used Zoom. This is only week 2 of using Zoom again, and I forgot that we ended the video and started a new one, so I would have needed to share the sound. But apologies for that. Sorry for the awkward intro, but it's good to have you in.
I was like, man, it's quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet. Happy Thursday to y'all. We got football again on tonight. Thursday night football. Gonna be a good
Watch
one.
an embarrassing football team play a game.
Yeah, gotta watch possibly 2 embarrassing
Two
football
embarrassing
teams
football teams
play a game. Um, with the Cowboys and the Giants.
on Amazon Prime.
Ugh. Amazon we need to get rid of Amazon on the NFL streets because it's
My
been not
I
great.
kind of don't hate it because my video on it looks awesome.
That part's fine. I hate the people that are on pregame and postgame,
Yeah, I don't watch none of that.
and I'm not overly fond of the commentating either. But oh well.
But Al Michaels,
Al Michaels is just phoning it in.
yeah,
He's there for the
he's
paycheck.
chilling. Yeah, he said Bezos, I'll take your money.
Yeah. But that's next week. Get excited for our full recap of the Cowboys Giants game next week. It'll be great. I'm sure we're not going to be emotionally devastated. Um,
Probably
we
not.
got some great things to talk about this week. We're going to go through all of our primetime games, which there was not very many. There was one good primetime game. No, two. There were two good primetime games and two blowouts. And then we'll briefly talk about all the crappy games. We'll maybe spend some times on the good games.
A lot of bad
But
do again.
the theme of today's episode is there was a lot of bad football this weekend. But it's good for the sports books because the dogs are barking in the NFL. Um, we kind of mentioned it yesterday on the gambling segment, but um, teams that are 6.5 point dogs are 14-2 against the spread this year, and they are 10-0 straight, or they've won 10 of the games just outright. So out of the 16 games, 10 of the times the favorite hasn't even won. So kind of crazy. Kind of makes me super nervous as my team is favored by 7.5 next weekend. So not ideal. But yeah, there we go. Let's talk about the things. We'll start off Thursday night football. Patriots got their butts kicked by the New York Jets.
Yeah, I think
That it's
it's
time.
It's time for what?
You got to let the rookie just play.
No, you
You
can't.
got to bring her. You
It's
got
the
to bring Drake
opposite.
May in. You got to
Jacoby
bring Drake
Brissett's,
May
you're gonna ruin Drake May. Their offensive line is so bad.
in. Man, it's just really rough to watch.
It is really rough to watch, but Jacoby Brissett is like he is sacrificing himself so that Drake May is not a dead person.
That's
he'll get
true.
hurt.
I mean,
He'll get
it's
hurt, and then
just,
you got to throw Drake May in there.
Yeah.
it's just so bad. It's
We're gonna
so
look back on
bad.
week 1 of the Patriots and be like, "How in the world?"
Well, they beat the
Also,
Bengals. The Bengals
Yeah,
are
also,
0 and 3.
how are you, they're so bad.
They are so
also,
bad.
also, there. You know how when Saban retired, and everyone was like, "You don't want to be the guy that follows the guy."
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy that follows. I think it being a guy who's been through the program is fine. Like that's actually a smart, good hire.
Yeah,
Someone
but
who
that's
the culture
he's
doesn't have to change too much.
he's
Also,
bad.
though,
He's
the
bad.
the Patriots have been bad with Belichick.
For sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's
You know,
true.
The
Saban kind of left like towards the top.
Yeah,
Belichick and the Patriots were terrible.
they were terrible. That's just because they can't figure out their offense. Their defense is still
Yeah,
very good. In
it's
a
just
game where their offense did nothing, their defense still held the Jets to 24 points.
you lose that quarterback, man. You lose the greatest of all time, and
They lost a
they
lot
just
more than just the quarterback, though. Their offensive line hasn't been good. Obviously they've never been a team that has good wide receivers, except for that year that they had Randy Moss.
yeah.
But
Didn't they? Didn't win.
yeah,
Yeah, they didn't.
Hardly enough.
Moss never got that Super Bowl.
Yeah. But yeah, the Patriots are bad. Except for their defense. Their
That's
defense
rough.
is so good. Their defense is still a very good defense.
So the thing about the Jets, anyone else like watch Aaron Rodgers roll out of the pocket and run and think he looks better running right now than he did 2 years ago?
I didn't think that, but I thought he looked fine. I thought he looked healed.
I'm not saying every time, but he rolled out of the pocket one time later in the game and he breaks out for like 12, 13 yards, gets the first down. And I thought to myself, he looks healthier than he did 2 years ago.
I hate watching him run. He runs so goofy, and then he does that little move to get out of bounds. I hate it. It looks weird.
Well, he's definitely a white guy. He's
Yeah,
like
sure.
he definitely has no brother in him because he runs like a slow white guy.
His feet, like, they only spread apart like half of what they really should spread apart.
It's like a shuffle run, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
And
looked good.
he always has the ball out here.
Yeah.
He's always like kind of
That could have been our
levitating
vice
the ball.
president, but instead he looked good on the football field.
He does
Yeah.
look good on the football field. He's gonna look good again. I mean, because the Jets were so terrible last year, their schedule's super easy. So he got to play the terrible Patriots. Now he gets to play the terrible Broncos.
And you got the Salah hug, hit, push.
Oh my gosh. This is so overblown. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I do think they
Yeah.
hate each other though.
They were asking about it in the press conference after the game. I'm like, he literally didn't think that Salah was going in for a hug.
Yeah, I do think that they do. I do think that Aaron Rodgers does hate Robert Saleh though.
Well, to be fair, I think Aaron Rodgers pretty much hates anyone.
Yeah,
Well, also,
Yeah.
I think that Aaron Rodgers should hate Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh is like Aaron Rodgers is trying to win the last Super Bowl of his career, whatever. And Robert Saleh is a terrible head coach.
Yeah, I agree with that.
well, I think Aaron Rodgers is probably pulling more strings than his coaching staff at times. Like,
That's true.
I think there's a reason the Jets were the destination he ended up at. Like,
Oh. I mean, yeah,
he
he brings in Hackett, so he just has his buddy as the offensive coordinator who he knows that Hackett will let him do what he wants.
he's calling his own plays. He's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
But I agree with Blake. I mean, I don't think there's many people in the NFL that Aaron Rodgers doesn't hate. Like,
It's true.
I think he is such his own
Oh,
human
no.
being
He
that
loves
he's like, I'm
he
out.
loves Randall Cobb.
Oh, he loves his buddies.
He
That's
loves
for sure.
Alan Lazard.
Aaron Rodgers is the Adam Sandler of the NFL.
He loves David Bakhtiari.
He will take his buddies and make sure that they get a paycheck.
Who's
To
Kevin
be fair,
James?
I think even in Aaron Rodgers' personal life, he doesn't necessarily like too many people.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah,
He
he's
likes
such
Pat
his
McAfee.
he's such his
Pat
own individual person.
I think he's
Big
just
Joe Rogan guy. Big Joe Rogan guy.
I
He
think he's
loves
kinda-
Joe.
He loves Shailene Woodley.
And he likes that girl that like paints herself blue and calls herself like Majestic Universe or something like that.
I don't know who you're talking about. That one.
Oh, you
I've missed that part of the internet. Seriously though, if fun aside, if Aaron Rodgers is Adam Sandler, who's Kevin James?
Her name was Blue of Earth.
Randall Cobb. It's got to be Cobb.
Is it Randall Cobb Kevin James?
It's got to be Cobb. Oh no.
That girl's name is Blue of Earth.
No. What's that guy's name? Oh man, the comedian. He in Longest Yard. You can do it. You can do it all night long. That's Randall Cobb, dude.
Oh,
You can do it.
Rob Snyder? Is that it?
Yeah, Rob
No, it's
Snyder.
not not Rob Snyder, but I don't know. All right. That's you know what? That's one of those that we got to think about. That's a good for next week. Like who's Kevin James? Who's David Spade?
Sean Payton.
Okay, well
Literally.
yeah, you're a
No,
little
I've never
we're
seen
talking
that.
about
It's the
Aaron
real-
Rodgers' friends.
there you go.
Well, Kevin James is forever Sean Payton to me. So
That's true.
That movie was a good movie, to be fair.
Man, you could do that with like a whole bunch of things. Like who, like you could do it with like the Marvel superheroes or like Ocean's
Yeah,
11. Like who's George Clooney in Ocean's 11 in the NFL? That's a fun thing that we could throw in the future.
that
But
that would have been so much better when Tom Brady was actually playing though,
yeah,
because that's like a Tom Brady role right
for
there.
sure.
Like Tampa
Um,
Bay Tom Brady is definitely George Clooney in
yeah,
Ocean's 11.
and then Mahomes was Brad Pitt.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. All right. Let's talk about Sunday night football, where of course the internet kicked off again because the Chiefs beat the Falcons. And as per always, that means that there was ref controversy at the end of the game. And let's just rip that band-aid off. It was definitely pass
Definitely,
interference yet again.
definitely pass interference.
Definitely pass interference and should have been first and goal on the 1 yard line. Um, but yeah, there's
My
that.
my favorite tweet I saw this week was a picture of the ref standing there, the pass interference happening, and then it just said, "Oh no, he definitely didn't see it." The ref is looking
Staring at
straight
it.
at him,
Yeah,
staring straight at it.
I don't
good
care for the
times.
Falcons play calling at the end either on that fourth down.
Yeah. So my whole thing that actually I think that is getting overblown, or not say underblown, I guess would be the phrase. I don't know if that's a phrase, but I think that the refs from Sunday Night Football were just absolutely atrocious from start to finish. I think the whole game was poorly officiated. There was a couple phantom calls against the Falcons early on. There was a couple phantom calls against the Chiefs early on. Then there was the bad no pass interference in the fourth quarter. Then on the Falcons' last drive, there was two horrendous calls that were makeup calls and all that kind of stuff against the Chiefs to keep the whatever. And then it was a bad
There's
game.
a refereeing epidemic out there, and it's been
I
happening.
think for sure that the Chiefs definitely deserved to win that game if you looked at all like the stats and things, and the Chiefs just didn't play as good as that game could have. The Chiefs could have been up 21 points in the third quarter if they played a little bit better in the red zone. But what I think, after doing some studying, there is an epidemic of prime time unders hitting always. And I think I've figured it out. When teams get into the red zone, refs start throwing flags that they didn't throw. If you watch that Sunday night football game again, there are basically no flags until either team is about to score. And then they're forcing them to kick field goals. And it does two things. Number one, Vegas makes money because everyone likes to bet the over because that's way more fun. Number
That's true.
two, everyone watches the primetime games. And when there's more ref controversy, there's more clicks on social media. And it gives ESPN more to talk about on Monday morning or Tuesday morning or Friday morning, whatever day of the week it is. So I want someone who has way more time than I do to go and analyze primetime games.
The call ratio in the red
Call
zone.
ratio, if it goes up significantly when teams get into scoring range, do the fouls against the offense. Like it's always the hold, right? Because the adage is you could call a hold on almost every pass play and almost every run play. There's
No,
probably someone holding somebody, but they don't call it until you get like
no.
inside the 30. And then it's so hard once you're in like that plus territory to survive 1st and 20 because the feet you don't have that depth to throw deep. That's
Probably
my
not
conspiracy
a
theory.
bad theory.
I think I'm on to something. Now, if I randomly die this week, it was Roger Goodell.
Oh,
It was Roger Goodell or somebody at ESPN or someone in Vegas because I figured it out.
You
But
just
yeah,
you just broke the script, bro.
yeah. So that was the refs. Other things from this game, I think that the Chiefs defense looked great. I think that the Falcons offense didn't look nearly as good as they have in previous weeks. Bijan couldn't get going at all.
which was great for my fantasy league.
Kirk looked
Yes.
fine. He didn't look great, but he looked
They
fine.
were doing some weird stuff too, where they run like every first and second down they run, and then they put Kirk in like a third and long situation.
Yeah, they really wanted that outside zone. Chris Collinsworth talked about that outside zone 45 times.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't think that the Falcons really looked great. I thought the Chiefs moved the ball really well on them actually, and then kicked a lot of field goals instead of scored touchdowns. Mahomes threw a really bad pick in the end zone to Justin Simmons because that's just a guarantee every time they play. Justin Simmons will intercept Patrick Mahomes.
or that's
That's
a bizarre little
That's
thing.
a crazy stat right there.
Yeah. Let's talk about this though. Is this a normal practice that when you get
No.
an interception that you keep the ball and sign it? That seems weird.
Just because
I-
Mahomes.
I think
Do it with Tom Brady too.
I know they did it with Tom Brady.
I
know
get
they
like
did it with
I
Tom
get like
Brady.
if you're his last interception. Or like if you get a pick six, keep it. But just like a normal interception, we're keeping those. And then all these players are talking about like that Mahomes isn't special. That I don't know, that just in my brain tells me that you think that he's special.
You definitely think he's special if you're keeping the ball, unless like you're just a weirdo and you keep every ball.
I mean, yeah, if it's your first interception, definitely keep it. But like, hey, this is the sixth time I've picked him off, so we need to write that down and keep it.
I mean, I could see
Do we
like
have
me
enough footballs on
personally.
the sideline for that? There's enough
Like,
footballs for every interception. How many did they
there's
have to go?
plenty.
Did they have to go to Dick's Sporting Goods in the Colts Bears game to go get more football?
Yeah.
Because they're just turning it over every play.
How do you so so you want to keep the ball? How do you dictate that that ball doesn't have to go back into play?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like you talk about like all these quarterbacks, like the equipment manager roughs up the ball for them and does all these
Yeah.
things. Same with like kickers and stuff like that. How do
Yeah.
they have enough balls where like, yeah, every time there's something special happening, it
Like
goes off to the side?
how many balls are they keeping on the sideline to like is it like baseball where the ball guy's got like 6 balls in his pocket and he's just waiting to hand them off, and then if the ball touches the ground you got to change the ball out? Like,
I bet each team has it like 15 balls at least.
Or do you think they like switch it out? Where like, hey, that's one of Patrick's like throwing balls that like they
Oh, for sure.
so then they just switched it out to some random football and wrote it and then put the original football back on the Chiefs sideline.
no,
Oh,
no.
I do think that they like the.
I think they have balls for
have
certain
specific
things.
balls that they like. They have kicking balls.
Oh, for sure. I know that, but like I watched that franchise show with the Chiefs when they won the Super Bowl. A guy that my parents went to high school with actually has been the equipment manager for the Chiefs for forever. And they interviewed him the first time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl about his like process because they're under a time limit. When the NFL brings them brand new footballs before the game and they have to like rough them up. And he has to do it for like Butker likes them one way and Patrick likes them another way. And then they like also have to rough him up for the backup quarterback in case he comes in. Like there's a whole process that they go through that they're under a very small time frame. So they can't just like have like 40 of them because they don't have the time for that. They've got
Yeah,
like 4 or 5.
I think the backup quarterback should not have a preference in this situation.
It might just be
It was whatever the starter wants.
it might just be something that the
Maybe it's a
Chiefs did or
quarterback
whatever.
room decision.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. We don't. That's one of those things that I'm just intrigued on how it
You
works.
see them sometimes on the sideline though with them big old bags full of balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's a dude when it's raining. There's a dude literally like carrying the bag directly on the sideline.
So it's the balls aren't getting wet. Yeah, I mean, if you're keeping every ball you pick off from Patrick, you got 6 right now. What if he has like 3 or 4 picks from Aaron Rodgers? Does he keep those? Does he keep?
No one wants to keep Aaron Rodgers balls.
Those are immunized.
Those those are dirty. Those haven't been
Those
showered
are
in a
dirty
while.
balls. Those are
He does
yeah.
strike me. Probably doesn't shower too often.
Oh, I have a theory that Aaron Rodgers moved to Austin
Oh, that's definitely gonna
re-
happen.
after he retires, and him and Matthew McConaughey are to smoke weed and
And
play the
not shower.
bongos naked and don't shower and don't wear deodorant.
Smoking
It's gonna
weed
be a
is
whole thing.
illegal in the state of Texas. So don't come here for that, Aaron Rodgers.
They're
Don't
still gonna do
probably. I mean, yeah. Joe Rogan films his podcast here, and
it. They're not smoking weed, Austin.
I know, but they're clearly on. They clearly sometimes have smoked weed just before they hit record.
My favorite is when he says, "No, this isn't weed.
Yeah.
This isn't weed."
All right.
Funny.
I mean, the biggest topic actually, and we talked about this a lot in our group text while the game was going on, that I think is going on. And Mahomes is off. Something's wrong. We talked about if it's a footwork or not trusting the offensive line or what it is, but he's definitely got happy feet.
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think the offense is off in general, and I think defense has taken away Kelsey.
Yeah, for
When
sure. I mean, Rashee Rice is a monster.
yeah,
Whoever has him in fantasy football, if it's a full PPR, is just dominating their
he's
league.
killing it. Yeah, again, like 8, 10 catches a game is
8 to 10
insane.
catches. His yards after catch is
Yards.
insane.
He's so
He
fast.
scored a touchdown, I think, in every game.
Every game.
So, I mean,
Well, Kelsey's only got like 80 yards all season.
Kelsey was better against the Falcons. He had a couple big
Yeah,
catches, but it wasn't great.
but it's
Um,
just, I mean, and Patrick brought it up in the interview this week he was like, listen, man, every time he goes out, there's 2 to
oh,
3
for sure.
guys just layering him.
And I mean, he's definitely old for a tight
Yeah,
end.
he's
So,
gotten
like,
old.
everyone's like, he's not running as fast. It's like, yeah, he's old.
I mean, he's a
But
very big man
and
that has to rough.
the Chiefs are definitely running the ball a lot more, and Kelsey is the blocker for that. I know a lot of people say that Kelsey doesn't block, but if you've been watching him, Kelsey's been pancaking fools this season.
Dude, I love that Steel kid.
Carson Steele's great.
I love that kid.
Fun to
He
watch.
just ticked off at him.
He reminds me of Riggins off of Friday Night Lights, dude. Just like long hair, white dude that just runs through things. Love it.
I
He is-
love. Is that what you said, Blake?
Pete is real mad at him
Why?
because he has a croc.
Oh,
Yeah,
PETA.
Croc.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a Crocky J or whatever his name is. I love.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, he skipped his sister's wedding, which is great. His sister clearly didn't think that he was going to make the NFL, and so
Yeah.
had a fall wedding.
That was funny to me. I'm not gonna lie. I was
That
like,
was good.
she clearly had zero faith in him.
And now she's really mad because she had to have this random film crew at her wedding to film them watching the game.
Well, to be fair, Alex Caruso skipped his sister's wedding to win an NBA championship in the
it's
bubble.
true.
Pretty bad though that like her wedding turned into a football watch party.
That's
Yeah.
true. But on the same side, you gotta know, especially you come from a football family, you gotta know no weddings in fall.
That's an easy.
Yeah.
That's an easy solution to that.
I'll be at a wedding this weekend, boys.
Nice. The last thing I want to say about this game before we move on, because it really wasn't too great either. Because it was not the most cleanest game played. If you have not watched Leo Chenal on the last play where the Falcons ran the worst play ever on 4th and inches, you need to watch it. That dude is so strong for a linebacker. It's crazy. He just lifts 2 offensive linemen and drives them back into the backfield, which is why Nick Bolton makes the play. Go watch number 54 on the last play if you haven't seen it. Also, it was a really awesome bad beat at the end of this game. I think Patrick Mahomes over rushing yards was like 30 and a half. And he was at like 37 yards, but he couldn't just take a straight knee because they needed to waste time. So he ran backwards 5 yards, then ran backwards 4 yards, then ran backwards 3 yards, and it hit the under by like a yard and a half. So he was like way over, and then it came back and it hit the under. So that's always fun. It's why quarterback rushing overs are dangerous, because if your team is winning and they're going to take a knee at the end of the game, they're going to lose yards.
Yeah, that sucks.
All right, let's move on to the doubleheader that was Monday Night Football. Let's talk about the first game, which was an absolute nightmare. The Jags suck, and the Bills are a wagon.
Is Trevor Lawrence trash?
Trevor Lawrence is trash.
Yeah, well, he's trash for another 4 years
Yeah,
because they
it's
gave
the
him
same
a
conversation we had last year.
massive contract.
All of last year, I think we talked about on this podcast, is Trevor Lawrence trash? And I think we asked that as a question, and I think that this year we can confirm he's trash. He's trash. He's no Ronnie Bass.
Doug Peterson
No,
gone.
Ronnie.
Doug Peterson's gonna get fired for sure. He's kind of a dinosaur now. Is that his problem?
He's gonna retire like on a beach. So he gives me strong Mike Leach vibes.
I'm just like, does his system just not work in the NFL? Because he used to be the innovative guy, and now it's just bad.
I think it doesn't help that Trevor Lawrence is pretty bad. I mean, he overthrew a dude by 10 yards.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is very bad, but also their defense is atrocious. I don't think the Bills ever had to worry
No.
once, even when they got their backups in.
Yeah, that game was over before it started. I mean, it was like 2 minutes over.
Yeah, it was ugly. Do we think Trevor Lawrence can pull a Sam Darnold?
Go somewhere else and
Go somewhere else, sit for a long time. Sam Darnold was not a starter for a very long time. Let the pressure, same with Bryce Young, let the pressure of your failure rinse off and get a new start in a year or two. Under the Sam Darnold is only successful because he's under the right coach with the right team.
It's all about the system.
So, do we think Trevor Lawrence, is there a system out there that Trevor Lawrence could be good in, or is he a lost cause?
Well, I will say his problem, like, he was not accurate, which is
Neither was Josh Allen, but Josh Allen has kind of fixed that.
But that's like a different, like, the one crossing route was crazy. It was 10 yards over the dude's head. Like, it was nowhere near. Like, he was just not accurate, which is a different problem. Like, there was dudes that were open.
But is it a mental thing? Is it because he's got, I don't know, he's probably just constantly living in Jacksonville, hearing people say he sucks. On ESPN, they're saying he sucks. Is he a bust? Because, right, he was supposed to be the next Peyton Manning. So if he has a year or two off as a starter, it just gets his mind right, could he come back in to a different team and be good?
I think it's all situational. He could. I mean, we knew what Sam Darnold was, and he runs in there and is all of a sudden really good.
Right, but also Sam Darnold has Justin Jefferson to throw to. Like, I mean, he's got Aaron Jones as a running back. Like, he got onto a good team with a good coach. So, like, could you get Trevor Lawrence
good, decent receivers
onto, I don't know. I was trying to think of a team that needs a quarterback that also has decent receivers. But that's the problem, is most teams that are decent
have decent quarterbacks.
Have it, yeah. My first thought was, like, could he go eventually to, like, the Cardinals if they moved on from Kyler Murray? But the team is obviously still gonna be bad. But, like, you put, like, him with, like, Marvin Harrison Jr. and some other, weapons maybe out there. I like Tyler Dorsey. I think he's good. He's not great, but I think he's I don't know. There's a team out there that it would work for. Could he later go to the New York Jets when Aaron Rodgers retires with Garrett Wilson and some of the weapons that they have over there? Breece Hall's a good running back and be good. Obviously, in that scenario, Robert Saleh can't be the coach because he's not a good coach.
Lawrence had a decent year, I feel like.
Last year, it was decent. It wasn't good, but it was decent.
I mean, they have weapons in Jacksonville.
They got Calvin Ridley.
They got Calvin Ridley. Christian Kirk's not bad.
Yeah, Christian Kirk dropped the ball by having the ball hit his helmet this week.
He's not great, but he's not bad.
Our boy literally watched the ball hit him in the face mask and dropped the ball.
Is that also their problem that, like, They paid all their skilled guys, and so now their O-line is trash and their defense is trash.
That's
I
what
don't
usually.
I do think their defense is garbage.
Their defense is atrocious.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched enough of like a full game of Jacksonville to figure out all their issues. But they got a lot of issues. The Bills don't have very many issues.
No, the Bills look good.
If Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over, the Bills are almost impossible to stop.
I could have sworn they were talking about the Bills having a rebuilding year.
I mean, they were because they thought that their defense was going to be bad. But here's the thought: maybe all of those players that had big names that were on the Bills defense really weren't that good.
Good possibility.
Like maybe Jordan Poyer's really not that good of a safety. Just thought. Maybe
Just a thought.
maybe Micah Hyde wasn't that great. Matt Milano is that great. Matt Milano is great player. But I just think that their defense was pretty overrated in the past. And right now their defense is playing great. Their O-line is super good. They establish the run, then they start doing play action. If the play breaks down, Josh Allen's great at scrambling. Like they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Josh Allen's just going to have to keep from being Josh Allen.
If he doesn't turn the ball over, then they're fine.
Yeah, you just can't have a play where you go crazy.
I would put the most amount of money on the Bills to win the Super Bowl right now. They would be my team that I would pick.
What are they at?
I mean, I'm sure they're at plus money, but probably they're definitely gonna be the favorites.
Plus 800.
At
No,
plus 800, I would definitely take it. I was gonna think like plus 520,
They're plus 750.
750. I would take.
The
That's
Chiefs
my-
are plus 500.
That's dumb.
It's Chiefs, 49ers, Bills.
That's the thing though. Okay, the only question about the Bills is can they overcome the Chiefs when they play in the playoffs? If they do, that's the thing. Because it's some of it's mental, or does just Andy Reid have Sean McDermott's number? All those kind of things.
If the Bills lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs again, we may put Josh Allen on a watch list.
But I mean, he's playing some good. He's got to be the MVP favorite right now, I assume.
Yeah, 2-3 weeks probably.
Or Sam Darnold, which is crazy.
Sam Darnold.
I mean, Kevin O'Connell, whatever, should be the coach of the year at this point.
Probably.
Well,
Or I don't actually know who the coach is there, but should it be whoever is the Washington Commanders head coach who has them at 2-1? Dan Quinn, coach of the year. They beat the Bengals in Cincinnati on Monday Night Football. They didn't punt.
Yeah, no, they
2 games in a row.
I was saying it's the second
No
game in a row.
punts.
it really hurts me that the Raiders were hyped up to get Daniels and they sniped him
Yeah,
from us.
he looked good.
He looks good. Joe Burrow also looked good.
Yeah.
The Bengals played good up in their defense.
Their defense looked terrible.
Defense is terrible.
That's what bothers me about the Chiefs playing the Bengals, because the Chiefs offense struggles against this Bengals defense, and then every other team just obliterates the Bengals defense. So something about Lou Anarumo has Patrick Mahomes' number. I don't know what it is.
Maybe he just built that team just for the Chiefs, just to play the Chiefs.
The Bengals have to be the 0-3 team that talks the most trash though, and then just gets embarrassed. Every week there's new sound clips coming out from the Bengals locker room about how they're gonna kick whoever's butt, and then they lose, and it brings me joy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jaden Daniels looked great. He didn't even actually have to throw the ball that often. He only threw the ball, I think, 14 times, but went 12 to 14. Huh?
Jaden Daniels?
I think he only threw the ball 14 times.
I thought he was like 24, 27. Did I see
I think he was 12 of 24. Sorry, 12 of 14. Maybe that was by the time I went to sleep.
Yeah, I think that's by the time he went to sleep, because I think I saw that at the beginning of the fourth
21
quarter.
to 23. Maybe that was at halftime. He was 12 of 14.
Halftime.
But 21,
21
he still only threw the ball
insane.
for 23 times.
Yeah, but only having 2 incompletions, that's crazy.
They ran the ball effectively. Yeah, only having 2 incompletions is crazy, and a lot of them were like deep throws.
He looked
He looked
at this
dang
point.
good
That's the best rookie quarterback we got.
for sure.
Could
If
have been
you're
a
Bear,
Raider.
you
Could
got to
have been a
be.
Raider, not a Raider.
Could have been a
Fans
Raider.
got just upset with themselves.
Everyone was talking about, oh, Terry McLaurin, they don't give him the ball. And then they were just like, all right, we're going to throw it to Scary Terry on almost every play.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got the ball plenty.
Cam Taylor Britt had a nightmare. It was great. It was good. It was a good game, too. It was back and forth all the way to the end. Dan Quinn just with balls of steel in the fourth quarter in a 1-score game, 4th and 5, let my rookie quarterback throw the ball.
Oh,
Gets it
dude,
easily.
when Daniels turned and said, "Go for it,"
I mean,
I was like, "Bruh, here we go. We got a
it
winner."
worked. Yeah, he looks good.
He looks good.
I think all the rookie quarterbacks looked a little bit better this week.
Yeah, Caleb looked a lot better.
Good.
Caleb looked better, not great.
He threw
Better.
for 360 yards, 370 yards.
Yeah, he also threw 2 horrendous interceptions
Yeah, that's true.
and fumbled, I believe.
His play style is gonna end up in bad interceptions just because he slings that thing left and right and he puts the ball out there for anyone.
Yeah, that's not great.
I think
No.
Eberflus is a bad coach.
Oh yeah, I mean you're playing the worst run defense in the NFL, and you had your quarterback throw the ball 52 times. That's a rookie.
Yeah.
That's not good coaching.
Well, the Bears organization might be the worst ran organization in football currently. They're
But I do believe
atrocious.
that Caleb Williams is on track to hit 4,000 yards for the first time for a Bears quarterback
Ever, right?
ever. They've never had a 4,000-yard passer ever.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. But they've also had like 50 quarterbacks in the past 50 years.
I think they've also never had a quarterback throw 30 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah, that's true.
How about 30 interceptions?
They've definitely had no one go 30 for 30. What's more impressive? Shohei Ohtani's 50 for 50 or Jameis Winston's 30 for 30? That's the question.
I think the 30 for 30 is more
30 for 30 is more impressive.
30 for 30 might be more entertaining, but definitely 50 and 50 is more impressive.
30 for 30 may not ever happen again. You'll get benched.
Let's see.
Free 30.
They play 17 games.
I don't know if they would allow a quarterback in today's league to throw 30 interceptions.
2 a game.
Just kidding.
You would definitely get benched before you.
Caleb Williams is only on par to throw for 3,500 yards. Not looking great, Bears fans.
He's on the up.
He did throw for more than 100, which is good compared to his first game.
He's doubled every week, I believe. He went for 90, then 180, now 360.
Wow.
Maybe if he changes the nail paint color.
Look out, Los Angeles Rams. He's going to throw for 720 yards this weekend. All right. Let's go through all the Sunday games really quickly. There was a lot of crappy games. Starting at the noon games, the Giants and Browns. These teams are both terrible, but Malik Neighbors is not. Dude's a baller.
He's good.
How bad are the Browns?
I love ESPN officially said, so I can't remember who it was on ESPN that said that Deshaun Watson is a better, like, which one is he a better person or a better football player? And I'm like, I love it that the worldwide leader is saying stuff like that. That's good times. The Browns are bad, and they play the Raiders, who also might be bad.
We're bad.
There's a lot.
It's not a might be bad. We're bad.
Man, Jonathan got crushed so early this year. Bummer.
Jonathan
was so hyped, and then he just got so crushed, and it's so disappointing.
Pierce is already throwing his players under the bus.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, I know Austin said in the group text, like Gardner Minshew's going to get benched. I love the fact that Devontae Adams came out and was like, listen, they asked me my opinion. I'm a Gardner guy. I want Minshew to be the starter. He was like, now at the end of the day, they have to make their own decision.
Yeah.
Very happy about that because I don't think putting Aiden O'Connell
Oh, Aiden O'Connell
changes.
is terrible.
I
And
do
he
not
looks
think this
terrible.
solves the problem.
He also looks terrible, which doesn't help.
I
Yeah.
don't. I don't think it's a. All right, our
Gardner
offensive
Minshew
coordinator.
shouldn't be a starting quarterback, but he is better than every quarterback on your roster.
Yes, but our issue is the offense coordinator. We took a failing Chicago Bears
Oh
offensive
yeah,
coordinator and moved him to Vegas.
who have never had a 4,000-yard passer.
And we were like, you know what we should do? We should let this guy call offense for a backup quarterback that's gonna have to start all year and a wide receiver room that has one option.
Yeah.
It's just like the offense is so bad. We can't
Man.
run. We can't run the ball.
Yeah. Losing Josh Jacobs was definitely big for your offense.
Yeah, and it just pisses me off because like the whole and like everyone wanted Josh Jacobs to stay, except ownership and their
Yeah.
organization and the coaching staff. Like I really don't think Antonio. I don't think. I think our coaching staff didn't like Jacobs.
It's possible.
And
They also maybe just didn't. I think that they really wanted to fix the defense and put all their money onto the defense.
oh, we did
And
that. Our
so
defensive
then
line's great.
you couldn't afford to pay a running back. Like
Yeah,
you
our
couldn't afford Jacobs'
corners,
contract.
our corners just get dusted.
Yeah.
Just dusted.
If
They're bad.
y'all are very Cowboys-esque. If your pass rush with 4 doesn't get home, your secondary is going to get torched.
Oh my God. It's so, I mean, Red
But
Rocket
if they
just
can
torched
if
us.
they can sit on the routes, then your secondary will look great.
Man. And
Um,
what also sucks for the gamblers out there and the last man standing, uh I would say 70% of the world said, "Oh, my last man standing. I'm taking the Raiders this
oh
week
no, no,
against
no.
Carolina."
I can tell you, if you haven't been paying attention to Survivor picks,
Yes.
it has been a bloodbath.
Oh yeah.
If we
Oh
go
yeah.
through all of the things.
I think 50% of people almost lost week 1 on the Bengals.
Oh, on here you go. Ready? So the biggest Survivor League is done by Circa Sportsbook in Vegas. They had 14,266 entries for week 1. They are down to 642.
That's crazy. Just to pick
Okay.
a
I'll go through week by week just because it's fun. Hold on, I gotta scroll all the way down to week 1. Hopefully they're still there.
Dang, I was hoping that they had the percentages of people that took them on sleeper.
I do I can tell you the percentages based off of this. So week 1, the Bengals was the big one. It was 34% of all Survivor teams picked the Bengals.
Oh God.
The second highest was the Seahawks, who won. So there we go. So week 1, already 34% eliminated from one team. And then there was a bunch of other ones, like the Falcons was a big one. Like 400 teams got eliminated from that. And so on and so forth. Then week 2 was scrolling. Week 2, the Ravens were the number 1 pick. 2,300 teams eliminated by the Ravens, and then not only was it them, then the Texans and Chargers were 2 and 3. After that, the number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 teams were all eliminated. So it was the Lions,
Jeez.
Eagles, Jaguars, Cowboys, and Colts. So like a bloodbath. Week 2. Week 3 was hilarious because number 1 and number 2 both lost. Sorry, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 all lost for a Survivor in week 3. The Bengals had 25% of the remaining. The Browns had 24% of the remaining. The Bucks were 17 and the Raiders were 13.
Gee
Like,
whiz.
the
There's
cer-
like 12% left.
sorry, yeah, it's not from the original. It's
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yes, it like Survivor leagues have been an absolute bloodbath. I lost because I was on the Browns this week, and that was never even close. So that was a
I
bummer.
lost because of the Raiders.
Yeah.
My goal was to just pick whoever's playing Carolina, and
See, you can't do that. I've learned because it's very rare that a team's going to go 0-17.
yeah,
Never
but
happened.
I figured with the defensive line for
Yeah,
the Raiders,
you just
like
you
it
gotta
was a
find your
lot.
moment.
And I mean, we have 11 guys in this Survivor League, and 2 guys are remaining.
Yeah, it's been brutal.
I mean, I guess
But
I
it's
don't
been
have to check
exciting.
that anymore.
Any given Sunday, right? And that's made it kind of exciting. I wanted to go back to one thing you said about your offensive coordinator. I don't know if y'all ever tune in to my girl Annie Agar. I've never actually
No.
watched any of her content until this year. She just makes a video once a week. Um,
Oh, I do.
and
I know who this is.
she roasts teams and it's hilarious. But
It
yeah,
is funny.
she has just this bit of where she's making fun of one other offensive coordinator for doing something stupid, and then she'll pretend to be the Raiders offensive coordinator, being like, "Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Let me write that down." And then she like tells him to shut up and get out of there, and it cracks me up every time. Because
Interesting.
yes, he's bad. Annie Agar, if you haven't been watching her stuff,
Amy Agar.
Annie
Trying to
Agar, I believe.
Annie.
Is I didn't know
Yeah.
she posted
She
stuff. Yeah.
she makes a post once a week, and it's just like, all right, it's good, it's funny. You can also definitely tell that she's a Packers fan. That's that. Little bias there. Speaking of the Packers, Malik Willis got his revenge against the Titans. That game was also ugly as can be.
Yeah.
The Packers, my big takeaway from this game, are now the antithesis of themselves. They have a strong run game and a strong defense, which is usually their kryptonite, and it's very weird to see.
But when Jordan Love comes back, they might also have a strong passing game.
True. Or are they just going to abandon the run when Jordan Love comes back?
That could be.
Also, their defense always kind of looks good at the beginning of the year. I'm curious to see how they look in December. The Titans suck.
LaFleur is a beast, though.
LaFleur is great. Great coach. Had a great game plan. It worked out perfectly. Will Levis is just the gift that keeps on giving to the internet. Funny guy. Love
He's
watching him play.
You're
Funny
basically
guy.
when you play with him, you are starting the game out 7-0.
Pretty much.
Because he's giving a touchdown.
He's gonna give him 7 somehow.
Yeah. But he's a fun watch. That game was never close. The Packers just beat the crap out of them in Tennessee. All right, other crappy games that happened. The Bears lost to the Colts in an absolute turnover festival. Both of these quarterbacks are awful.
Wasn't there 3 straight plays with turnover at one point in time?
Yes, Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is just really bad at football.
Yeah.
I'm happy we called
He's
that
gonna
as a podcast.
He's gonna live on that for the rest of his life.
I was gonna say, Michael Lombardi had probably the greatest quote, like analogy about it on the GM Shuffle this week, saying that he's an amateur golfer. He's like the perfect analogy towards amateur golf, where guys will go and they'll shoot like a 120, but they have that one beautiful shot that makes them think that they're gonna come back out to the golf course.
Yep.
And
That's
that
what
is him every week. He throws one great deep ball, and everyone's like, ooh, there's the potential there. He can't throw short or medium. He can only throw deep.
That one throw keeps you coming back.
Man, it's for me, it's chipping. I make one good chip, and it's
Yeah.
like, if I can figure out the rest of this game, oh boy.
That's
Teams,
a big statement there.
teams should keep him as a backup quarterback because he is a great red zone quarterback. You just put him in and run a QB power. He's hard to stop.
He's
But
something.
He's a big guy.
you can't let him be your starter. The Colts are bad.
He's something.
Their defense is awful, but
Anthony Richardson was not good in college. I don't understand why
That's the part I don't understand.
he wasn't good in college. So
he is a freak athlete, though.
Freak athlete, sure, but like
Are they going to turn him into a tight end? I think they're going to turn him into a tight end
Probably should.
or like a Taysom Hill.
Run a reverse pass with him every once in a while.
Can Anthony Richardson become a Taysom Hill?
Nope.
He's not sturdy enough to become a Taysom Hill for
Yeah.
sure.
Not versatile.
Not versatile, dude. That dude.
Taysom has a little bit of like coal miner in him. I don't
Yeah,
think
there you go.
You gotta have that. You gotta have that lunch pail mentality, and
He does not have
he ain't
lunch pail.
that.
All right. Other terrible games from the weekend. The Texans got dog walked by the Vikings. It was bad.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Okay,
Vikings are straight up good.
The Vikings are straight up good, but here's the follow-up question based off of the Texans so far this year. Are we going to see Stroud have a sophomore year slump? It's very common amongst quarterbacks.
I've been saying that.
So I think something to look out for. The Texans don't look great. Or is it all Diggs' fault?
I'm gonna say it's all Diggs. I'm gonna say Diggs is a cancer, because they're not getting the ball to old Tank Dell over there, man.
Yeah.
He just ain't getting the looks.
I mean, I think Nico Collins was their better wide receiver last year anyway.
Tank Dell would get shot.
Yeah, he did get shot. But so did Anthony Pearsall, and he's playing again.
Anthony Pearsall's a beast. Dude walked himself to the ambulance.
Yeah, do we think that Stephon Diggs cursed himself to catch that game-winning play against the Saints when he was the Vikings? He like sold his soul to the devil, and so now his team can never be successful. That's the only thing that makes sense on why that guy ducked his head.
It's kind of like Odell sold his soul for that one catch that made him all that money that he hasn't done anything since.
That's true. I mean, Odell was also amazing besides that one catch until he got injured. Sure. Then that first big injury, then he was done.
Stephon, Diggs has been amazing. He just
Diggs is still amazing. He's just a bad teammate.
Bad teammate. I mean, Odell's still making money, dude. He's still on the roster.
Yeah.
Playing for Baltimore, hasn't seen the field because he's still hurt.
All right. Other games. The Eagles beat the Saints. It was a good game. Both these teams, I actually do think both. I think it was a game between two good teams in the NFC. The Saints, the offense came kind of back down to earth.
Eagles might be in trouble.
The Eagles are going to fire Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni's an idiot.
Nick Sirianni is real bad. Also, I think Jalen Hurts is bad. I think we're in Jalen Hurts' bad territory.
They're both bad.
Saquon is the savior of that football team.
Well, they're in trouble in the sense that they got no receivers left. Everyone's getting hurt.
Yeah, that was the dirtiest hit.
Dirty hit.
Okay, I didn't even the first time that I watched it, I didn't even notice the second guy. I think that the second guy is dirtier than the first guy.
Then he spit on him. When he stood up, he spit on him.
Allegedly.
He got cold. He spit on him.
Oh, allegedly.
It looked like he spit on him.
It does look like it. Maybe it was just a spit in his general direction. But
the Saints are dirty.
The Saints are dirty. That hit was brutal. And then he's just lying out there without his helmet, and that guy just like elbows him, like he's like, "Oh, here we go." It's just like, all right, this is bad.
The refs should have blown that sucker dead about 10 seconds.
Yeah, we gotta get our the same thing happened in the Colts Bears game. The refs made terrible decisions, so the Colts scored a touchdown, even though the running back had gotten driven back 2 yards. They don't blow it, and all the Colts offensive linemen pushed him into the end zone. And then later, they said that Anthony Richardson's forward momentum had been stopped, and then he throws the pick or fumble or whatever that the Bears would have scored on. It's like the refs really struggle with the forward momentum. It needs to be like a rule. There needs to be an amount of time that is a hard amount of time, and then they blow it dead.
The fact that they didn't throw a penalty on the Devontae Smith hit is insane to me.
Yeah, it was bad.
That is what college targeting was designed for.
For sure. I will say this. People of the internet, stop asking for targeting in the NFL. It's not a penalty in the NFL. It's called unnecessary roughness. Also, If Derwin James is getting suspended, like that guy better get suspended.
For sure. That was one of the dirtiest hits I've ever seen.
And then the second guy who does the jump on and the spit denied that it was him on Twitter. Everyone tweeted at him, dude, that was dirty. And he was like, it wasn't me. And it's like, you're wearing a jersey with your name and number on it. We know it's you.
Okay, I just watched it for the first time because I definitely missed this.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
bad.
disgustingly bad.
Did you watch
Yeah.
the second guy?
Yes, the second. I mean, dude, the play was over by a mile.
Not only is the play over, he's not wearing a helmet. Like his helmet got knocked off and he just dive bombs into him with his head trying to like it was bad.
I felt bad for Devontae Smith. He like just crumpled to the ground. Like,
Oh yeah, it's
Even-
bad.
Dude, even if he was wearing a helmet, you can't just the game like the play's over.
Yeah, it's bad. So that
Oh, he jumps saying okay. The ball's out there technically, but
yeah,
I
but
still think the hit was
the
a
first
little
one is
brutal.
definitely the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Bountygate is back in New Orleans. Because that was dirty. All right.
Dirt.
I think that the whole coaching staff of the Philadelphia Eagles should be fired. They're all dumb. Sirianni
dude,
doesn't
that-
do anything, and he can't even figure out how to call timeout. Kellen Moore, we've talked about for years, is a bozo.
that looks like that hurts so bad.
Yeah, that guy that hits him is not small.
Dude, and Devontae is like 170 pounds,
Yeah.
soaking wet. Like, oh god, that had to hurt.
It was bad.
It was brutal.
I think there's a solid chance that the Eagles fire their entire coaching staff by the end.
They
of the year.
should. It seems like Sirianni's just like flipping a coin if he wants to go for it or not.
Yeah, if you're gonna do the analytics thing, you got to go 100%. You can't do it only 70% of the time because then that ruins the point of the analytics.
And the last one where he kicked it was like, did they miss a kick, miss a field goal
I do think Jake Elliott missed a field goal.
at the
Oh,
end?
dude, I wanted to bring that up too.
It was like from 60 yards. It was
But
like,
how many missed field goals did we have this week? There were a ton of missed field goals.
that's good to see because kickers have gotten too good.
Kickers have gotten a little OP.
Dude,
All right.
66-yard field goal and that this is the Cowboys kicker, 66
Oh,
yards.
65. He only kicked
65.
65. Did you see
66 is the record.
You see the high school kicker who kicked a 61-yard field goal this weekend?
Yes.
How?
Yeah, we're gonna have to
how?
we're gonna have to narrow the goalposts at some point or something. It's in 20 years, these kickers are just gonna be able to knock down 80s.
Or
Like
just
nothing.
kick
I think
actual-
there's a limit to what the human body can do.
Yeah, but you watch them in warm-ups off a tee, you're kicking 70 plus.
Yeah, it's
So like
very different.
70 will happen. Aubrey could probably get close to 70.
It's not the distance that's the problem.
it's the accuracy at that distance.
Well,
but
and you gotta
line.
still get it over the line too.
but you gotta think like at one point we were like at one point like a 45-yard field goal was like, dude, this is a bomb. He's gonna have to
No, I mean-
annihilate this thing.
I'm still when a guy lines up for a 50+ yard field goal, my butthole is still clenched. Like I'm nervous.
No, for me, it's like if it's anything like 53, 54 is where I'm starting to go, ooh, this is a long kick.
Yeah.
But now, like this year alone, I'm like sitting there like, oh, 55? Nah, he's made a few of these. He should be fine.
We're still in nice weather season right now too. It's not too windy at
Oh,
games
yeah.
yet. It's not raining. Like
Makes
the
a
kicking
difference.
will get worse. Don't worry.
But like when you're playing at Mile High Stadium and you have like a guy that's out here kicking a 61-yard field goal, 62-yard field goal, even a 65-yard field goal, and then you're playing at Mile High in like perfect weather.
Oh yeah.
I'm going for that. I'm going for that record right there. I'm gonna
For sure.
let the kicker kick.
It'll get to the point though where you're missing a kick and the other team will have it on their own 30.
Yeah.
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 It could be.
That's possible.
I think it's also there's gonna be a distance where coaches are not bold enough to let them kick it for that reason. I want to know, have they changed the football at all? Is that why we're able to kick it longer? I don't know if there's been developments in those kind of things because that would be a big difference too. If the football has gotten easier to kick and like
I'm
it's
sure since like the '80s, probably.
yeah, I just mean in the past, 5-10 years. I don't
I
know.
don't think they've changed it recently.
They might have changed the kicking balls though,
No, that's true.
because they're very different. The kicking ball is a very
More
different football than the like
more
one
air.
yeah. All right.
No deflate gate there.
But yeah, let's keep wrapping it up. The Chargers and Steelers played some old school football. Steelers are undefeated.
I didn't see a minute of that one.
Yeah, it's pretty much what you got. Justin Herbert re-aggravated his high ankle sprain. I don't know why you wanted to play him in that game.
Yeah, I
think
feel like
was a
that
huge
you got to
mistake.
sit him out of that one.
I don't understand why he played.
Well, I get it if he was fine, but if you watch the pregame warm-up film, if you were watching like Sunday NFL Countdown, I mean, Herbert could barely move.
Yeah, I
And
don't know why he played.
his aggravation of it wasn't like it didn't get twisted. Cam Hayward, which I will give him this, Cam Hayward is a big fella, just fell on it. That's it.
Yeah.
It just got touched, and he was like, "Ow, I'm done."
And that's not one of those things that goes away.
No. So like, is he gonna play against Kansas City this weekend?
Shouldn't.
I hope not.
I think Harbaugh's a guy that will you're gonna play through everything.
I do think that is possible.
Yeah, I see that.
But the Chargers, once again, I don't know what it is about is it their medical staff? Is it their training program? Like, are they practicing too hard? But I mean, they're super injured again. They lost both tackles. I think they lost a guard too. Like they're going to be playing a completely backup offensive line. It was a bad weekend for them. But I mean, good for the Steelers. They're getting their stuff done.
Fields should be the starter.
Good coach in there.
I am. I say that I do agree. He is a good coach. Can we name Justin Fields the starter already? We gotta stop doing this. He's not the starter.
Just say it.
He said it again today.
Yeah, Justin Fields is the starter.
You will lose that locker room if Justin Fields is 4-0 and you put in Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah,
they should trade Russell Wilson to somebody.
They should trade him to the Dolphins.
At this point, trade him to the Raiders. I don't care.
That too, sure.
It can't be that bad. It can't be that bad.
I do have a very large complaint about the Los Angeles Chargers, though. It's really more about the NFL. Why, NFL, did you suspend Derwin James for 1 week against the Chiefs? Why? You're just perpetuating that you like the Chiefs. But, which was funny, I liked all the, they said it on the Pat McAfee show. It was all over Twitter today once he got suspended, that they're just doing it to help the Chiefs. If anyone has watched the Chiefs play against the Chargers in recent years, you would understand the Chiefs target Derwin James because he's not that good. Travis Kelce always goes off against the Chargers, and Derwin James is the one responsible for covering him. So
I mean, that wasn't that crazy of a hit, was it?
no, it's just he's a like this is like the 8th time.
Repeat
He's a
offender.
repeat offender.
I mean, he definitely lowered his.
He lowers his head and he hits him in the head. It's not that I don't think it's one that he should be suspended for, but also like if you've been warned so many times, you can't have that big of an argument.
Him and Deshaun Watson, repeat offenders.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I didn't really have anything else from this game. I think the Steelers play another terrible team this week. I think they play the Colts, so like the Steelers could easily be 4-0.
I bet Chicago fans are sitting there wondering why Justin Fields didn't work.
I mean, Justin Fields, he looked better this week, but he hasn't really looked great.
Yeah, but he hasn't looked terrible.
No, but he's had a great defensive. Like he has like the best defense in football, probably. Like he's only
Yeah.
having to score 20 points.
No, for sure. But to be fair, there hasn't been like an outrageous number of high scoring games.
Correct, but also for the Bears, you usually got to score more than 20 points.
Like if we're gonna put a tag on the past 3 weeks of NFL football, it's defense really good, offense really bad, all the way across the board.
Offenses are figuring it out.
Slowly.
We had multiple 300-yard passers this week. A lot of teams got into the 30s or 40s.
We're getting there. We're getting there. It's just there's a lot of
there's always a lot of low scoring games. It's hard to score in the NFL,
yeah,
which
a
is
lot
why
of, lot of bad
coaches should
offense
kick
going
field
on.
goals.
Yeah. Taking 3 points is a good thing.
Well, I would have loved a field goal this week, but we never got into field goal position. So
I mean, 7 teams scored over 28 points this weekend. So I mean, that's
it's not
getting
bad.
there.
This is a weird week.
It was a weird week. Let's see other things that happened. The Broncos beat the Bucks. I got none.
Probably coming back down to earth a little bit.
My joke that I came from this one is that I don't think the Bucks could block a middle school defensive line. Baker was under attack all day. And they play the Eagles this week, so I'm afraid for Baker Mayfield's life.
Did you see his comment from last week when they said Baker, you had like a 17-yard run? That's the longest run in your career. He was like, "Ooh, that's bad. I need more runs." He was like, that definitely should not be my longest run in my career. That is bad.
He got his wish this week because he was running for his life.
Yeah. I do like that guy.
All right, let's move on to the 3 p.m. games. We already kind of talked about the Panthers and the Raiders, mainly on the Raiders side.
So bad.
Bryce Young is probably finished. Is probably what we got out of this game.
He didn't get traded.
Especially if the Panthers beat the Bengals this week.
They're gonna move him.
Yeah. I don't know who would want to trade for him though. I mean, probably the Dolphins because they think that he could just be the next Tua and just throw the ball short.
I mean, Trey Lance, he's moved around a few times, and he's still in the league. He's just back up.
That's true. The Dolphins, they're down to their 3rd string quarterback, and it showed.
Dude, yeah, it's a rough watch.
The Seahawks are undefeated, and I don't think they've played a good team yet, so I have no idea what to think about for them. They're playing the Lions this week in Detroit. Like, they could beat Detroit. They could also lose by 40. I couldn't tell you.
I haven't watched a minute of the Seahawks, but they're one of those teams I don't want to watch ever.
Yeah, their secondary is fun to watch. Their secondary is really good.
DK Metcalf is
Metcalf is fun. Yeah, he's entertaining. He's good for either a great touchdown or a great
run
tantrum every week. One of the two is going to happen.
He had some spectacular catches this week.
He's so freaking fast in the open field.
He's fast and he's just huge. He's huge.
Yeah, he outran on that one deep ball, those 2 safeties or whatever, safety and corner, and then did like the Usain Bolt, like slow down, turn around, and mock them as he walks into the end zone. Like,
yeah,
he's just pulling away from. He's so fast in a straight line. He's very fast in a straight line. We talked about all the Raiders things. There we go. We talked about the Dolphins things. Mike McDaniel, are we getting concerned?
Nah, I haven't been.
I've been concerned. I told you,
you
think he's
just
a trash
extended
coach.
his contract. But you got your 3rd string quarterback in, and you're not going to run the ball at all. It's just like, let's just throw it all day.
He'll be
not
fine.
A great strategy.
He's terrible. He's a bad coach.
How has Tua not seen a neurologist yet? That's the biggest thing that I took away.
There was like scheduling conflict or something.
Like
how does a professional quarterback have a scheduling conflict with a neurologist?
I thought the NFL had those.
I don't know. That's what Schefter or someone said on Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sure by
I
now, as this recording comes out on Thursday, I'm sure he has seen a neurologist by now. But
I'm saying
I'm afraid.
I'm saying that they're postponing it as much as possible.
Yeah, I think they're
They're-
covering something up.
They're trying to cover it. They're trying to find a way for him to continue playing without it looking like a disaster.
By the time that he gets back, they might be like 1-5. So they
They're
might
trying to
just
find
sit
a
him.
they're trying to find a doctor that will take a
That's
take
what
a
they're trying to do.
handsome-
They're trying to
handsome
find a
pay.
doctor that's going to say yes.
Yeah. If they can find a doctor that will be bought off.
I like that. All right. We also had the Hospital Bowl between the Niners and the Rams. These teams
Good
are
Lord.
obliterated with injuries, and I learned nothing about this game at all.
They're
It's
just
good,
very-
good comeback by the Rams.
McVay is still a good coach.
Brock Purdy is on fraud alert.
Yeah, there's so many injuries though. I'm like, he's playing with.
So many injuries.
I mean, he's still got some pretty decent weapons out there.
A lot of injuries.
I'm not saying he is a fraud. I'm saying he's on fraud alert.
Brock Purdy can't be on fraud alert because whatever he does is way more than he was expected to do.
That's true. That's true. No one expected what he's done to ever happen for that kid. That kid was supposed to be selling jacuzzis at his parents' jacuzzi store in
No, man.
Flagstaff.
Brock Purdy was so good at Iowa State.
He wasn't. He's gonna go to a Super Bowl good.
Yeah. Neither was Jimmy Garoppolo.
True.
The Niners just happen to be good.
The Niners just happen to be good. I mean, look at any of the quarterbacks that come out of the NFC this year that could win the Super Bowl. Jordan Love, no one would have said that about him coming out of college.
Nope.
The only one would be Jared Goff because he was the #1 pick.
True.
I still don't think people looked at Jared Goff and said he was going to go to a Super Bowl either.
He's been to one before.
Dak Prescott, no.
I could see people saying out of college he could
Sam
have gone to the Super
Darnold,
Bowl.
no.
He's going to win this year.
I don't actually know who's good in the NFC right now.
Dude, that'd be kind of wild if Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl.
Geno Smith, definitely not.
No
So,
one saw that coming.
I
But
mean, I
good
don't
for
think
him.
I don't think
good
any of
for
the
Geno.
quarterbacks in the NFC would be quarterbacks that you're like, hey, they were definitely going to be a hit. All right. Speaking of Jared Goff, the Lions Cardinals game, it was fun. That's it. It was a fun game.
I think the Cardinals are just. I think both those teams are just a fun teams to watch.
The Cardinals will definitely be a fun team to watch because their defense isn't very good, but their offense can, in theory, score points.
They
Marvin
like to score.
Marvin Harrison,
Marvin
Jr.
Harrison
is good.
Jr. is good.
Marvin Harrison Jr. was so good they started to double team him in the second half.
Yeah.
And he disappeared, which is fine. That's not a criticism on Marvin Harrison Jr. He's a rookie. He's getting double teams. That's hard. All right. And then the Ravens and Cowboys game.
Cowboys.
Cowboys cannot stop the run at all.
The Ravens should have won that game by 40.
Man, it was almost a fun comeback though.
I just rewatched the
I
fourth
knew it
quarter
was gonna-
because
that though.
There was a difference of a level of comeback. I didn't think that it was going to get down to
No, a successful onside kick actually happened for once.
a successful
Yeah, that's
onside kick
crazy.
happened only because Zay Flowers can't catch.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers.
It
jeez,
really
he's
wasn't that good of an
trash.
onside kick if he would just catch a ball.
I guess that's the new strategy for onside kicks. You just like make it spin
Spin
a
it.
lot.
You have to
Spin it.
kick it slow.
It used to be like get it that second bounce and it would
But you can't because there's not enough time for your players to get there.
and they can fair catch it.
Yeah, no, not on the second one, only on the first one.
I thought they can fair catch it on the second one too now.
Okay, and that's even dumber.
So now it's got to be low, slow, and spinning.
Yep. It's just impossible. It's just not a thing.
They should just
Unless
It only
Unless you're-
happens with a player's mistake.
go 4th and 20.
No, just bring it back to the old onside kick rules.
Well, yeah, I agree with
It
that.
happens so infrequently that it's not going to be a problem.
And I don't remember seeing a bunch of injured folks.
And you can't do you can't do sneaky onside kicks anymore either. So like
Yeah.
the other team's gonna know it's coming, but give them the 5-yard head start of a run and let them bounce it really high and let those guys just go at each other.
I'm in favor.
I'm fine with it.
I mean, the odds of them getting it was still only like 20% back then too. Like it's still really difficult.
Now it's like 4%.
It's it's only possible if the other team makes a mistake. That's that. That's all the games. We did it. There's a lot of bad teams in the NFL this year.
Yes,
There's a
there are.
lot of bad teams. If we're looking at if we're looking at the standings, it's not pretty. Even some of these teams that are undefeated, I don't really think are that good.
Seahawks, we're looking at you.
Seahawks, I'm Pittsburgh. I'm looking at you.
The Cowboys are really bad.
Cowboys are really bad. Are the 49ers might be bad.
McCarthy's gone. I don't think we learned anything about the 49ers the first 3 weeks of the season.
I think that is the locker room the problem?
Could be,
They
but
had a lot of drama this offseason. A lot.
I just think there's a lot of injuries.
I mean, this is how bad football is right now. The Commanders are currently winning the NFC East.
Oh yeah,
That's how bad football is
with a rookie quarterback.
with a rookie quarterback. The whole AFC South, bad. The Texans could be good, but the Colts, Jags, and Titans all are pathetic.
Yeah, that's the worst division of football right now.
That's definitely the worst division in football. And the NFC North is the best division in football, minus the Bears. The Bears suck. All right, that's going to do it for us this week on the Football is King podcast. We got Thursday night football going on tonight with the Cowboys and the Giants.
Painful.
The Giants can't stop a pass, which goes into the Cowboys offense, and the Cowboys can't stop the run, which goes into the Giants offense. So it hopefully will be a fun game.
We could use a fun one
We'll
because there
see
was a
which
lot
of these teams gets back on track. Whoever loses this game will be in sole possession of last place of the NFC East. But that'll do it for us for this episode of the Football Kings podcast. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all next week. Make good choices, everybody.